Hello, hello, Ederson Oliveira here for DNNHere.com. Today I have with me Joe Craig. Joe, welcome to our monthly chat.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
And just for people that don't know who Joe is a long-standing member of the DNN community. He is an MVP as well, and a good friend of mine. We have done a few things together in the past few years, and yeah, so from now on, I hope that I'll be able to do this monthly chat with him and Scott as well, which wasn't able to be around today. So let's go down to business here. Let's see what's new on September. I think that I'm going to start with something that I just saw yesterday, which is the DNN 8 CTP5 release. And there is a good blog post from Joe Brickman about something new on that release that we're expecting for a while now, which is called the Dynamic Content Creator. So again, this was just published yesterday. It's hot out of the press, and the Dynamic Content Creator, which I have touched base a little bit about that in the past, seems to be fully functional here, which includes two different components to it. One is the Dynamic Content Type Manager, which is where you set up your, let's say if we're talking about an employee, that's where you set up the name, the fields that will build up that piece of content, like name, address, position. So that's the Dynamic Content Type Manager, and that's a bit of a backend type of view. Now on the front end of this is the Dynamic Content Viewer, which is the actual display mechanism of that content. So again, there is a quite a nice blog post from Joe Brickman here that I'm showing. It goes step by step on how to set it up, and it's already available on CTP 8, sorry, DNN 8 CTP 5. Joe, anything to add to that?
Not really. I looking forward to getting CTP5 and getting it installed and playing with it. I think I looked at CTP1, which had some of the basics of the dynamic content creator, but correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the first one that has all of the pieces working.
Perfect. So now that we have the birds quiet, let's let's carry on here. Okay, so again, CTP5 out for DN8, nice dynamic content creator. Again, blog posts here. All the links will be posted in the video post. We are waiting for DNN8 beta to be coming out by the end of October. So again, that's what will be coming out shortly. In terms of new releases as well, there should be DNN 742, which is a maintenance release coming out in the next few days. So again, end of September, beginning of October. Again, just a maintenance release, but it should be coming out in the next few days. It's still on the blogs that I have found for the past few days. There's this one here from Joe Brickman as well called "A Break with the Past," and in this post he is basically going through the other modules that will be removed from the main distribution of DNN, and they will be kept aside, like the newsletter module, like the site log module, the banners and the vendors and banners module as well. Those will still exist, but as site extensions. You can add them, but they will not come out of the box with the DNN8 distribution. So again, that's a blog post that Joe talks about that. Not only modules that will no longer be part of the distribution, but also some parts of the codes that are legacy parts that will be completely removed, like the old connection string that used to be there in the web.config as well. And again, there are a few other parts here, and this is fully described on this blog post. Joe, any comment on that? Okay, so next one here, next post that I saw that I found interesting. I saw this blog post called "Using Google Tag Manager with DNN" from Bruce Chapman, and the reason why I find it interesting is because one, I finally had the chance to understand what Google Tag Manager was, because I was not sure of what it really allowed people to do. And what it allows people to do is to add scripts to Google Tag Manager, and then you add one single script from Google Tag Manager to your website. So from that point on, you can manage all your scripts from Google Tag Manager. So again, you no longer need to do that from within the website. But bottom line is that this post from Bruce Chapman goes through a process that he recommends using to use Google Tag Manager. Okay, so again, a nice one from Bruce there. What else here? I have recorded just yesterday a good interview with Jason Lechon from Blueboat. Blueboat is the company responsible for PackFlash set of modules, like the news module. There's a PackFlash news module, and we had a good conversation about the company, new initiatives that they have, like the Bravo Search, which is I would call it a high-end type of a search solution for mid to large size organizations. So again, I had a good conversation. That's for my DNN Store series of vendor interviews. And it goes live this coming Tuesday, September, let me see here, 29th. Okay, that's that one. Upcoming, by the way, I have mentioned the last Google Hangout because although it was very useful, but there was the main interviewee was not present, but there's something here that I wanted to mention that came from that Hangout. In any case, the next Hangout will be October 8th with Clint Patterson talking about Forms and List module. Now, for those who don't know or who don't remember what Forms and List is, it's actually it actually has many overlapping features with the new dynamic content creator. So again, quite a few things can be done with the Forms and List module, and I'm sure that that Clint will be talking about a lot about some of those things. Although I think that Forms and List module is more of a it has a again, I might be reading too much into it, but it has a more client-oriented input view. So again, you can create a form that can be filled out by users, where Dynamic Content Creator is more of a, you have forms, but those are more for administrators to maintain content. In any case, we'll go to the webinar that will be presented on the 7th of October, and here is the page. Joe, anything here?
I have used Form and List module off and on, and am using it on a site that I'm developing that will actually go live on Wednesday. Basically, I have used it mostly as a contact us type of form. It's very easy to use, and it also has the advantage of saving the form data in the database, as well as sending an email to somebody when the form gets filled out. And in cases where it's really important that you get the email, there are occasions where email doesn't get to you. The data is still saved, and you can go into the site and see it there.
Perfect. Okay, so funny you say that you use this more the Forms and Lists to build Contact Us form, Contact Us pages. I usually use the.
There's actually a feedback for module.
That's
and,
the one.
And right off the top of my head, I can't remember why I chose to use the I was going to say UDT module, but no, the form and list module. To do that, it had something that I liked.
Actually, I think I may know, because the feedback module, I don't think that it allows you to add extra fields, no, where you can easily do that.
It's much easier to add additional fields to the form and list module, and maybe there's some options about who gets the email when they fill out the form, and is it easy to send them an email acknowledging their form submission. But it's a nice little thing to have in your arsenal.
Perfect. So again, October 7th, Clint Patterson, a great character on the DNN space. He will be presenting and talking about the form and list module.
He's one of my favorite DNN people.
He is a character, definitely, and he knows that. Anyway, so good luck there, Clint. Next one here on my list, two new series that have been published recently on DNN Hero, which I want to mention. Again, Scott is not here to talk about his, but Scott recently published an Advanced Angular Concepts for DNN course. So I have it open here. Again, if you really want to get deep and dirty on Angular and DNN, go for it. I mean, it's quite a long training session, but long and good. Again, he goes very deep in again, I think that he did an awesome job with this new series that he's pushing forward. So that's Scott. On my end here, I'm being a good boy and I'm following through with my promises, my commitments with the community of keeping up with my content creation. So I'm doing that. So I have just released what I've called DNN 7 for Intermediate. And there are a few different topics here. It's not fully done yet. I still want to add more juice to this course. And on top of that, again, the next one will be the DNN 7.4 Advanced, and then we have the Mastery as well. So again, that's my focus right now in terms of content creation for DNN Hero. What else we have here? I have the tip of the month. So I quickly mentioned that there was a short DNN Hangout this past month, but there was something that came out of it which reminded me of a module that I used to use and I stopped using, but I want to get back to it. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why. So the module is called Content Injection module, and it's done by His Mightiness. For those who don't know, His Mightiness is Will Stroh. Will, yeah, that's on you. So great module, great simple little module, but very useful. Actually, I have installed it on a test site that I have. Let me refresh this to see if I'm still logged in. Yes, I am. It's called Content Injection. And what it allows you to do is it allows you to inject code, inject a reference to a file, a reference to a JavaScript file, a reference to a CSS file, a reference to some HTML in the page header, in the body top part, or in the body footer part. So again, that's usually where scripts are required to be placed, in the page header, in the body at the top, or in the body at the bottom. And this module allows you to do exactly that. So I have it installed here. I'm just gonna go to its settings and just show you around a little bit, because actually it's quite simple. You can put an injection name. This is just a name to reference that particular injection. An example of an injection, again, if I go to, well, I don't have it open here, but a script injection could be Google Analytics, even though we know that DNN has something built in for that purpose, but it could be Google Tag Manager. So this is just a simple description of the script, content that is being placed. You can place JavaScript, CSS, or HTML. You can enable or disable. Here is the content to be placed. Again, might be a script, might be a reference to a file, might be some HTML code. We have the advanced settings where you can set priority. Priority is a number that will allow the module to place that script in the exact position as compared to the other scripts on the page. So let's say that you are placing a CSS file that may need to be in a certain position within the CSS stack list on the page. So again, it shows you the numbers, the priorities of the other scripts on the page, and you can pick another priority here. You can pick a number between, let's say, 5 and 10 if you want it to be in between those two scripts. So again, you can use this to easily specify where on the stack of scripts you want that script to come in. If you want it to be the very last one, you may put a number that goes after 100. If you want it to be the very first one, you can put 0 there. That's as far as I can see that this is how it works. And we have provider as well, which is where you can say this script should go in the page header or in the body. And by body here, it really means body at the top of the body of the page. And form button, it's at the bottom of the form of the body on that page. Again, there is a sin that I want to confess that I sometimes do on DNN, and again I'm ashamed of that, but I have to confess. Sometimes I open the default.aspx file, and sometimes I put a script there. And you should not do that. You can use something like content injection to do that for you, But yeah, so I confess and I feel relieved. And now I'm redeeming myself because I'm using content injection module from His Mightiness. So forgive me, His Mightiness. Anyway, Joe, have you used this module before?
Yes, I've used that content injection module and maybe another. As you were talking, though, it dawned on me that 3 or 4 years ago, the options for including script files and CSS files were not like they are today, where it seems to be much easier. And I'm thinking that particularly at the dawn of jQuery, when something needed a file or you had a skin that did not support jQuery, those were really useful in getting jQuery scripts included in your site. I used to use it a lot, like you said. I don't use it that much anymore, or things like it. In skin files, I use the 40 fingers style something or other. I can't even remember what it's called. Style switcher or style injector, something like that.
Got it. Okay, good. Okay, so
or I stick scripts where it seems a good place to put them. I think I have never ever, except once or twice, altered the default.aspx file, and only for really good reasons.
Now, I might as well just cut this part, but I won't. I want people to know, what I did, that I confessed. But anyway, in any case, that's my tip of the month, called content injection module from Wistro. Yeah, so now it's Joe's turn to tell his tip of the month. Joe, go for it.
Yeah, my module of the month is called Expandable Text, and it's from Iowa Computer Gurus. our good friend Mitchell Sellers. It's pretty much a frequently asked questions type module where you can easily create questions and answers, and the module presents them on the screen with just the questions. You click on the question and the answer pops up underneath it. I've been using it to cut down the size of some pages that have a lot of text at the bottom in sections that are not the main point on the page, so you can just shorten up the page and put that module there. That's my tip.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, great tip. I haven't tried that one, but I will. Okay, so we're coming to a conclusion here today. I just want to finalize with a quick story of a case. I like to call those scenarios as cases that we had on Desktop. And we were helping a client with a very strange, odd problem that you could not view the site in layout mode. So anytime that we went to the site and we tried to show the site in layout mode, it didn't show. It did not show. It just didn't work. And we start to investigate, and we start, because again, the reason why we want to view in layout mode is because you can see the different spots on the site, the different panes on the site, and you can make judgments in terms of how to lay out content on that particular page, on that particular scheme or theme. But bottom line is that, oddly enough, after a few hours, we realized that the problem, very odd, this is very odd, the problem was that the style of the H1 tag on that theme was using an image background, and the image didn't exist. The image was pointing to a particular image that was not present on the theme at all. So it was giving, strangely enough, it was giving a page not found type of error if you try to access that image from the URL. So bottom line is that a problem with the style of the H1 tag, just a missing image, was making the entire feature on the website breaking apart. So again, just one of those that I put it down in my list of tips that, hey, you may want to check if the images are showing up, just in case. It's one in my big list of things to check on whenever you have a problem on the DNN website. I'm sure that you must have come across many very strange things over time, isn't it, Joe?
Absolutely. I recently found that on one site, when I went to a particular edit page, there were some very strange visual things happening on the site, and it turned out that I had modified a style of something, so a little tiny icon was now 500 by 500 pixels or something like that. I could actually find everything, but I had to scroll through all these huge icon images to get to it. I think the bottom line there is when you're changing a style, you want to qualify it to make it work only in the place where it should be changed.
Perfect. Okay, so go ahead, Joe.
That's good.
That's good enough. Okay, so that's it. That's it for our ramblings for the day. Again, Joe, thank you very much. It's good to have you here, and I hope that you'll become a part of our monthly chats.
I will look forward to that, and look forward to seeing Scott again too.
Perfect. Okay, guys, bye now.